So, hey guys, today I'm here with Claire Summers from Claire's Itchy Feet. Thanks for joining me. I'm just going to run through a few questions with you and hear about your experience in the
Yeah,
blog
sure.
and fast lane. But
Cool.
yeah, thanks for jumping on. So, firstly, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what's your blog.
So I'm Claire. I've been kind of semi-nomadic, I suppose, since 2017, mostly traveling in Latin America, but recently broken away and I'm in Europe. Started off solo traveling through main countries, Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico. Had an amazing time and then got married, had a baby, and left Mexico. And now I have two blogs. We've got a new family blog, which just started, just to separate that so I can keep my solo travel blog as it is and add the family content onto a different blog. I've been making an income from the blog. I just went full-time blogging before 2020 hit. And then obviously that threw a bit of a spanner in the works. Everything died, but bounced back really fast. And by January 2021, I was full-time blogging again and actually making a lot more money than I had been before the pandemic. So yeah, I think I'm obviously British, but I write mostly for an American audience, because where I was located, because I was just focusing on Latin America, it was mostly American audience. So most people think that I'm American, but fun fact, I'm British.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And off the top of my head now, I can't remember. When did you join the blog and fast lane? Was it 2020 or 2021?
Do you know what? I think it was just before I left just before I left Playa del Carmen, because I went for coffee that maybe, I think it was late 2020 when I got access, but I started going through it when I left Playa del Carmen and I moved to Nayarit and had that I had a bit of a bubble of time when I was just working on the blog. And that's when I started the fast lane, was like January 2021.
Nice. And because you had already been blogging for a few years up until that point,
Years.
right? How
Yeah.
many years have you been blogging before that?
Since I left. So I left in 2017, or maybe it was the end of 2016, and I'd had a blog then, but honestly, every blogger I think who you speak to who's like, unless they're, I don't know, come from a background where they know about this stuff, everyone's first blog was horrendous. And mine was the same. It was all like, it was very Dear Diary, talking about my adventures in Thailand. Literally, like, even my mum probably got bored reading it. So I would say I didn't start taking the blogs as a serious business until a few years after that, but I was low-key blogging in like 2016.
Nice. Okay, cool. So that makes sense. So you're doing it a couple of years and then you join, because we always get questions. Sometimes people say, like, is blog and fastlane just for beginners? And I always say no. Like, if you're looking at it and your blog it's starting to make money, but you're still struggling, and if you're seeking courses or you're seeking other things, then it's going to help you. Like, it's going to definitely pay back its investment and definitely equip you with, a few things, even if you just get one thing that's going to, take your business up. And with you, like, it's great to see that you were one of those people that you've been blogging for years, so you already have had experience, but you probably took one, two, or three things and just like, oh, they do this thing this way, and then you applied it. So that's really cool to see. But can you share a little bit about, like, when you first joined after those years of blogging, where you were in terms of traffic or something, and where you are now?
Yes. So I had just got a Mediavine before COVID, so I must have hit 25K sessions a month. And then it died, and it was like 80 sessions. I went from, I don't know, 1,000 sessions a day to like nothing, basically. I was getting like 1,000 a month, back to like the old days. So just before I did blogging fasting, I reckon I was probably on about, I was maybe on about 15K. It could have been lower than that, was it? No, it was probably about 20K again. It probably went back up again. And now I'm 80 plus, I'd say. Nice. I'm creeping closer and closer to 100K.
That's incredible. Awesome. That's amazing.
I feel like we're blogging when you hit these milestones, and then the next leap is huge, right? Once you hit like for me, getting up to like 5K was a slog. And then once you hit 5K, 10 was fast. And then once you hit that 25, then getting up but then you hit 50, it's fast. And now I've been kind of stuck around 80, and it's like getting through to the next. Once you hit 100, then it kind of goes fast. So I feel like once you get in these milestones, it's easier after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember going for our first 50, and then I can't even remember hitting the first 100 because, like you said, it happened fast. And then it was like 250,000, 500,000, and obviously COVID hit us too. That's why when you were talking about COVID, I was like, "Oh, I feel your pain." I think everyone feels your pain with that one. Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like COVID made a lot of bloggers a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It either made or broke people. A lot of people just quit. In the travel industry, I mean, a lot of people just quit, but a lot of people got super clever. Like I've got friends who started drop shipping stores as part of their blog, started tour companies. Like, a lot of people came back stronger because they were like smart about it. Like for me, I started building websites and really digging into SEO and really being focused about my stuff. And then, so when the traffic started coming back, it really came back.
Yeah, 100%. It kind of swept a lot out. And like you said, people had to skill up to a whole new level. And I'm seeing that now. It's a different era. It's exciting stuff. But no, that's awesome. I'm really I'm stoked about your growth. What was the main things you took from blogging Fastlane that really helped?
Email was a big one. And just organizing my content. So I had a lot of content. I've got about 500 and something blog posts, which I know isn't a lot compared to some people, but I'd say out of those that rank on page 1, it's definitely less than half. So I've still got there's a lot of scope there. I've still got a long way to go. But organizing the content, so kind of having those pillar contents, organizing stuff, and then what's going to be the thing that you're going to give, the value gift that you're going to give to people reading these specific blog posts, and then using that to then grow the email list and the nurture sequence. So all of that stuff, like putting everything into order, really helped me, like the organization of it, because although I had a good blog before and I was making money, I had traffic, I wasn't growing my email list. I wasn't as organized as I could have been, and I wasn't kind of linking everything up and just keeping a track on things. And so like a lot of the analytics, a lot of the forms and the way that you organize things, I took a lot away from that. I mean, I'm not the most organized person. I tried the blocking stuff, and it's like
that wasn't for you.
It's just not for me. I really try, but it's just not for me. But a lot of it, I really like that organization, I would say, of the pillar content, and also just thinking about I'm not sure, I think I got it from the book about researching before you write anything, like really getting into the research, being much more targeted about what I'm writing.
Yeah, Anna goes very deep into like the key search and the planning behind everything we do. And then when you said about the way you sort of organize your content, I know we were talking before we started recording this, and you said like you started doing that, and then you took bets on your pillars and you found one that hit. And that's kind of like the thing that we talked about your traffic sort of skyrocketing, and then you hit that milestone, and you keep taking those bets and you keep laying those pillars, and then you're like, okay, this pillar is shooting up, and then you double down on it, and then you kind of reach a ceiling on it. You will hit a ceiling on that pillar, but then you repeat the same process. You do a couple of pillars and you're like, that one's hitting, then you just double down on that.
Be updated. And for me now, because my life has changed quite drastically, and I'm not solo traveling anymore. Now I've had to start bringing in content writers who can come and edit that stuff for me. Because I was traveling in Colombia when COVID hit, and Colombia is a very different place to travel around now than when it was when I was there in 2020. And even though actually, that's not that long ago, it's a lifetime ago there. So I've got a writer there who's traveling right now, and she's going through and updating everything. So it's never ending.
Yeah, no, it's incredible that you went from where you were a couple of years ago to now you've built a team, right? You have
right now my team. I've got a full-time VA. I've got a social media manager, and I've got a video editor who's kind of redundant right now because my internet here is so bad I can't upload the videos. So she's also working on my newsletter. Bless her. So I've got those, and then I've got like people who are more freelance. I've got some freelance writers and like someone who does some Canva stuff, like graphics when I need it. But yeah, so my fixed team is my VA, social media manager, and the video editor.
That's amazing. When you just mentioned your Wi-Fi, I was thinking, yep, that's nomadic problems. We all have those. I mean, we had a problem with Wi-Fi during this interview. So
yeah, I mean, I love it here, but we're kind of remote and there is no fiber optic. We have like a wireless router. So it's okay. That it's not, I can't upload a video. I can't, like the amount of footage you need when you're talking about drone footage and stuff. So if you haven't got fiber optic, it's just a waste of time. So I just have to say to her, look, nothing's getting uploaded till April, so take a break.
No, what you were saying about your team though was super interesting. We've gone through similar cycles where we've like built our team out. I think we got to like 8 at one point and then we scaled it back down and now we're going back up again. It goes through cycles. For us, we really like, I know Anna has an outsourcing module in the fast lane, and that's kind of what we focus more on now. We try to have as little full-time people as we can and more contractor outsource basis so that if markets, do change, we can kind of, so we have a lot of freelance writers now.
I tried that, but my VA is so amazing that I end up just giving her everything.
Oh, wow. That's good. So that's good.
And then all these people just kept on letting me down. And then she just like everything I give her, she just does so bad. I'm like, I don't never wanted to have a full-time VA because I don't, I recently had to sack my last VA because she's a good friend as well. So it made it even worse. But there was a lot of issues. I was getting called out in blogger groups because guest posts hadn't been published, and like I found a whole lot of stuff in her inbox, and she had some mental health issue. It was like there was a whole mess.
Wow.
So for that experience, I've been very reluctant to rely on one person. So I was trying to build a bigger team so that I'd have just one person doing one job. But honestly, this girl, like I have to keep on giving her everything.
Yeah, no, if you find an A player, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
definitely
I mean, to kind of counter that, I've had this girl, like I said, coming in, and she's building SOPs for everything. So like schemes of work for everything, every job that's being done. So I feel like I'm kind of trying to future-proof the business now so that if she does leave, everything's kind of there. It'd be much easier to hand over to someone else because I just don't have the time. I mean, even in my advertising, when I'm doing call out people, I'm literally like, I do not have time to like hold your hand through this. But I'm at the point where I'd rather pay someone more and have someone who knows what they're doing than paying someone like $6 an hour who I'm having to hand. I just don't have the time.
Yeah. Is it funny looking back at like, I always think like we have similar conversations where we're like, I don't know, business things. And then we think, man, us 4 years ago or 3 years ago would love to be in this position or would love to have this problem. It's like a different problem that I couldn't have even imagined back then.
And I've like you said, about building the team up and down. I've done this 2 or 3 times now where I had a really good team. I had a great VA, it was doing really well, and then COVID hit, and I kept this girl on as long as I could, and it just wasn't feasible. I wasn't making any money, so I had to let her go eventually. Then I built the team back up again, and then I got pregnant and was terrified of like what was going to happen financially, because I mean, with your first pregnancy, you just don't know. You don't know anything. You don't know how I'm going to cope with a baby, like how much I'm going to be able to work. So I slashed the team again because I just got really nervous about money. And then after the baby, built the team back up again. And then it's kind of gone through a few cycles. And then now I'm really doing the work to put those foundations in so that there's job descriptions for everything, which I never did. Everything was kind of willy-nilly, just like now it's much more structured. Okay, these jobs need doing on a regular basis. Everything goes in ClickUp. Everything's on a project management thing. All the team talked to each other before everything came through me. And now what we're trying to do is put everyone through ClickUp. everyone talks to each other and they don't have to talk to me so much. So I can just get on with everything and like doing the jobs that I enjoy doing. That's the plan right now.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. All right, I want to ask one more question. And obviously I've read your review, so I think I know how you're going to answer this, but would you recommend the Blog and Fastlane to anyone who's thinking about joining?
Absolutely. I think it's great for someone who's just starting a blog. but I think it's really good for someone who's been blogging for a long time as well. And I think one thing that I've realized, and I think you touched on this before, that even if you pay for a course and you only take one thing away from it, Denise DT, who's like a money manifestation woman who I follow a lot, she says this about a course: if you just take one thing away from the course, it's worth the investment. So I feel like Blogging Fastlane is a bit more of an investment than some of the courses, even some of the courses that I've done, some of the courses I've promoted, but I feel like you get so much from it that it pays off financially. But even, you know, if you're an experienced blogger and say you've already got an email list, you already know SEO, like you're going to find something that's going to be worth it financially. And for me, like I grew my email list a lot. I grew my SEO a lot. Like it's definitely paid off financially. And the affiliate marketing, like just everything, like I got so much from it that it was 100% worth the investment. So don't be put off if you've been blogging for a while and you feel like you need something to level up, because this is what's going to get you to level up. There's some things that you can skip through, you know, about like actually building the blog. And sorry, my dog is creeping into the
no, that's fine. No, that's amazing. Thank you. Hello. No, definitely. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending this time and sharing the story. I super appreciate it. Thanks, Claire.
Thanks.